can we do to speed up some of these projects? That's what you're here for. That's what this video is about. Secret weapon that we have discovered to make your projects better and faster. Yeah, that factory could have done that. It could have been put together from the factory that way. And that's what today's video is all about. We have found a product really going to help with all the projects that we got going around here. Let me show you what we found. This is our 1980 Honda CB750, and we've polished the heck out of the side of the engine case right here. It came out pretty darn good, mostly because we could get our machine to it. But you can see over here, we can't get the depolisher in there, and the chemical stripper didn't work, and there's just no product that we could find that could get in between these fins, that could get around all these nooks and crannies and get into the corners here and be able to polish it up the way we're able to polish that side cover there. So this is aluminum with lacquer, clear lacquer sprayed over it. And we've been searching high and low for something that we would be able to polish the entire engine like we did that case right there. If we could take the engine apart and put the pieces into a sandblaster and blast them, that would be great. But it would mean completely removing the engine from the frame. It would mean completely disassembling that motor. Don't want to pull the motor apart if we don't have to. And at this point, we don't have to. But we do want to get it all cleaned up, and we do want it to get looking good. And we can't fit the entire thing into one of those little sandblasters. So what do? We need a portable sandblaster that can come to the bike, so the bike doesn't have to come to this little sandblaster. We looked all over the place. We wanted something that was quality made, that was well built, that was preferably from an American manufacturer, and that had great customer service. This is what we found. This is the Mobile Problast made by Vaniman Manufacturing. It's a powerful but compact little portable media blaster for detail work. Vanaman is an American company, and they build this and all their other machines in Southern California, where they've been in business for almost 40 years. Vanaman is a family-owned company, and in fact, the current CEO is the son of the founder. Vanaman does not believe in planned obsolescence, and everything they build is engineered to last a lifetime, and parts are readily available for whatever you need. This machine comes with that pressure gauge and this detail gun that comes with a standard tip. We purchased some additional tips to mix and match and see what we like best. We also picked up some aluminum oxide to test along with the glass bead. The unit comes with this foot pedal that makes it super convenient to turn off and on the blaster. Right here is where the air connects. And right up here is your adjustable regulator, so you can get the pressure dialed in exactly the way you want it. And the media goes right inside this tank. Because we're going to be able to bring the sandblaster with an incredibly fine, detailed tip on it, so that it is only shooting the aluminum oxide or the glass bead or whatever material we decide to put into that. It's only shooting it where we're pointing, and it's not blowing it all over the place. You wouldn't use this for stripping the frame on the F250, but you would use it for cleaning up the intake manifold on the F250. So I think it's going to be a game changer. I think it's going to be awesome, but let's find out. So here we go. I'm Joel. This is Motors and Mischief, and this is our review of the Vanaman Pro Blast mobile sandblaster. And we're going to install a adapter to go from 1/8 to 1/4. Just unscrew this adapter that it came with, and we'll screw ours in, and then we'll be able to just screw a regular quick fitting onto it like any compressor would use. If this machine takes off and starts being used as for motorcycle and automotive projects, then Vanaman is actually going to include this adapter with the kit when you buy it. So depending on what sort of response this thing has, there may be an automotive kit when you order it. Link will be in the description if it is. So it is critically important that you not get any of the aluminum oxide, glass bead, sodium bicarbonate, any of this stuff that this blaster can shoot into the motor. It just goes without saying. But I said it anyway, so you've been warned. What we're doing is making sure that any open ports on the motor are taped off so that the sandblaster, so the sand cannot get into the internal workings of the engine. Now, the whole point of using this MicroBlaster is that it has a very fine tip and it's very detail oriented. This is a precision, detail oriented blaster, so it's perfect for getting all of this crap
off of here, which is exactly what we're going to be using it for. But again, we need to go ahead and tape this up and tape up around here because we don't want any of that dust, any of that sand into the inside of the engine. So, okay, motor is all taped up and will not be getting any dust inside it. The unit is hooked up and ready to go. We've got our air source plugged in right here. Got this set to about 60 psi right now. We can adjust that as we go. We've got the 50 micron abrasive media in here. And the way this machine works is you hold your detail tip right here. You step on that pedal to start the airflow. So let's go ahead and see how it works.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and start blasting here. You're going to see a whole bunch of media come out of it at the very beginning. That was our fault. When you first fill that tank up, there's a tube right in the middle of it. You don't want to pour any media inside that tube, or that's what happens. So once it cleared that tube, it doesn't hurt anything, it just wastes a bunch of media. But once it got that out of there, you can see that it is blasting away at that lacquer that was painted on there, and it's going through it pretty quickly. This footage isn't sped up or anything like that. This is actual time, and as we're going through there. So we've moved over to this side of the bike, and we're working our way around that engine cover now, and you can see it's just blasting away on that lacquer, getting everything cleaned up. That's a much better view of what it's doing. You can kind of see the camera's picking it up as it's just pulling that oxidized lacquer out of the way, and we're going a little bit slower there as we work. Now we're working on the fins on the engine, and you can see it's just blasting off. It's making a nice shiny finish there. As you can see, it's blasting away the oxidized lacquer. So it just worked fantastic. Also, it does not bother the rubber, and so you don't have to worry about taping off that seal there. Once we were done blasting, we went around and vacuumed up the media. You can see it on the floor there. There was quite a bit. We did learn later that if we left that vacuum on while we were working, it did a much better job of controlling the dust.
And there you have it, guys. You can see what a nice job that machine did polishing that engine up. This is just the finish from the glass beads. So you can see it did the polishing all by itself, and it came out really fantastic. The engine just looks really good, and that's good to go. We'll get the pieces back together on that, and this thing is ready to move on to the next steps of restoration. It came out really nice. So there you go. You can see what a really nice job that this thing did on that bike. The engine came out just fantastic. It's pretty messy, but we knew that going in because it's not contained in a box. To be fair, the company does sell a box. They call it the cut and clean, and it can go, this machine can go through that, and then you can have a box. So it's kind of the best of both worlds because this can go outside, and you can use it like we were using it, or you can use that cut and clean, and then you've got, like I said, best of both worlds. But as far as, really excited about this. It definitely does a great job with that detail work. You can get different size tanks for them. So this one is a 50 to 100 micron. They make a 25 to 50 micron for even more detailed work. And then they make a 100 to 250 micron that could probably be useful for like cleaning up the frame on a dirt bike or something like that. Remember, if you change the tanks, you got to match the tip to it. Tips and tanks have to match the media size. Also, they sell all the parts, so if you do mess something up or something does get broken 5 years from now, you can just reach out to them, and they got everything on their website. They'll get it out to you. We will put the link in the description, so check them out. If you go with this Pro Blast, it's like $370, $375, something like that right now. And if you go with the Master, which is really more for somebody who's doing this as a professional, because it's got the instant on-off, it's a little more complicated, and it costs about $150 more. So if you're going to be using it a lot on-off, it's great. If not, just stick with this one. Save yourself the $150 and less complicated, and this worked just fantastic for us. So again, links in the description to both those things. Check them out, and yeah, thanks so much for staying to the end, guys. If you liked it, then click that thumb up, subscribe to the channel. You will see this machine on our channel a bunch as we're doing motorcycle restorations and a bunch of other projects that we're getting into. Got a cafe racer coming, got some R6 content coming, a bunch of other stuff that Jake's working on that you guys are going to be impressed with. All right, that's it. Thanks so much, guys. Now, question for you. Which do you like better? This video that I think you're going to like right here, or this video that YouTube thinks you're going to like? Which one?